Hi, let's look at a few maths questions. Let us see if we can apply the mathematical skills and concepts we have learned so far. Mr. Johnson has 70 marbles. He puts 6 marbles in the first jar. Then he puts 4 marbles in each of the remaining jars as shown in the picture below. He stops when he has put all the 70 marbles. How many jars did Mr. Johnson use? So if I go statement by statement, I'll know that the total number of marbles Mr. Johnson has is 70. In the first jar, he's put 6 marbles. That means now he's left with how many marbles? He's left with 64 marbles. For those 64 marbles, he's put 4 marbles in each jar. Now, how will I find the number of jars he's used? All I have to do is simply add 4. How many times? The same number of times as the number of jar, because that will give me the total, that is 64. Repeated addition, as you know, is nothing but simply multiplication. That means 4 multiplied by something should give me 64. How do I find this? I can either go through the table of 4, or again, I can simply divide 64 by 4, which will give me 16. That means that Mr. Johnson put 4 marbles in 16 jars, and hence he was able to put all the 64 marbles in all the jars. Now, how many total jars has he used? Let's not forget that in 16 jars, he's put 4 marbles, but in that first jar, he's put 6 marbles. That means the answer is 16 plus 1, that is 17 jars. So I'll simply go and tick the correct answer, which is 17. Hopping on to the next question. It says, J-Hope and Alex are fencing their backyard. They are counting spikes on the top of the fence and trying to find a fence that fits in between these two fences. Can you help them find the right fence if the fences are arranged in decreasing order? Now, key information here is that the fence is arranged in decreasing order. That means I go from a higher number of spikes to a lower number of spikes. So let us count. The first set has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spikes. Then there's a fence in between, and then we have another set which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spikes. That means I need a set, I need a fence which has less than 7 spikes, but more than 5 spikes, which simply means the number of spikes the fence in the middle will have is 6. So let us count from the given options. Here there are 3 spikes. That means it is not the right answer. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spikes. Again, not the right answer. Here I have 4 spikes. Eliminated. And the last one, the fourth option, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spikes, which is exactly the number of spikes I want, and hence this is my correct answer. Moving on. This question says, a mug can fill a bucket in 7 refills. A bathtub can be filled using 4 refills of the bucket. How many refills of the mug can fill the bathtub? Now again, let us go sentence by sentence. For this one bucket, I need 7 mugs. And for this one bathtub, I need 4 buckets. For each of these buckets, right, I need how many mugs? For this one, I need 7 mugs. For this one, I need 7 mugs. For this one, again, 7 mugs. And for this one as well as 7, for this one as well, I need 7 mugs. That means for these 4 buckets in total, how many mugs I need? 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, which is nothing but again 7 times 4, which is 28. That means to fill this one bathtub, I will need 28 mugs. Going to the next question. It says, Hannah bought a round cheese block from a nearby supermarket. She divides the cheese in half and then further divides them into halves. She counts the number of rectangular faces. What do you think will be the total count? So I have this cheese block. I divide it into half and then I divide both of these halves into halves again, which will give me 4 halves. Yeah. So it says I have to count, like Hannah has to count the number of rectangular faces. Now it is very clear from the image that there is 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangular faces. But let us not forget about the faces that will be at the back as well. So for every half that I have, there will be 2 rectangular faces. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So a total of 8 rectangular faces she'll get. Let's move on to the last question, which says, Menon sorted vehicles into 2 different groups. Which of the following labels would be the most appropriate for these groups? Let's look at the name of the labels, yeah? It says water transport. Now, if I look at group number 1, water transport, not water transport, right? That means I cannot use water transport for this group, let alone the other group. It says air transport. Let's look at it again. Air transport, not air transport, not air transport. Again, cannot label this one group air transport, hence there's no point moving on to the second group. Let's look at the last option before looking at C, which is the right option. Road transport. I cannot label any of these as road transport. That means the only option I'm left with, which is C, which is big vehicles, because all of these, the dinghy, the yacht, the parachute, the airplane, the ship, and the submarine are all big vehicles. This brings us to the end of this worksheet. I hope you learned something today. Thank you.